Come on, fish. Nothing? Daggum. No fish whatsoever. Insane.
What is happening, fish and friends? Welcome to another episode. Today, yeah, we're still talking about frogs. We've talked about some beginning frog information, trimming the tails, some hook information. But if you remember in that video, this frog had legs like... As you can see, this kind of Franken frog is an idea that I had. Frog fishing can sometimes have kind of a hookup ratio. So why modify this frog? The Booyah Pad Crasher has been my go-to frog, or the Poppin' Pad Crasher has been my go-to frog for quite some time. I love it. If you need to, you can always bend these hooks up a little bit. I always trim my tail. Everything we talked about in the first one. But why this one? Well, you'll notice a significant difference in the hooks. You get a better picture there. You can see how much longer these hooks on the top are compared to those bottom hooks. Now you can also see that the bottom hook comes straight towards my other thumb here, and this top hook points up. Now on these Lunker Hunt frogs, the body is softer as well, so I just barely touch, and that hook's getting exposed. They're also, like I said, pointed up in that direction, so as soon as that body comes down, they're pointed right up towards the roof of the mouth. So I want to see if I notice a big hookup ratio with these. I never fished them before. I've had a couple, but they had these silly leg things. I used them a couple times and just thought it looked ridiculous. I personally didn't like them at all, so they sat in the back of my tackle box. But the local Wally World here had these guys on sale for like $4. So the actual modification. To start this, we have to go back to junior high biology and do some frog dissecting. We need to get these legs off because these legs really inhibit these hooks from moving freely, this body from moving out of the way. When I hook a fish, I don't want to have just that much hook. No, I want this body to be able to move out of the way and rotate, and these legs just won't allow that. It's too hard. That's why I want to get these legs off. So to start, the legs are just little knobs held inside here, and if you're real gentle about it and just give it a gentle pull, the legs come right out. So we'll want to do that on both sides. Gently. And voila. Now, as I talked about in the last video, if you ever want to fish these in open water and mimic a shad, that's all they see. The colors up top are just for the anglers. These look like two very different frogs. However, when you turn them around, can you tell the difference? But in all seriousness, this is something I do. I'll cut the legs off my frogs right here and fish just the body. From the bottom, it's white. It literally looks like a shad or some sort of bait fish dying on the top of the water. And this was a tip I saw from Jacob Wheeler on an MLF event a couple years back. If that were the case here, I would leave these plugs in here and just cut them off right at this, so you didn't have big open holes for the water to come in. And you could literally fish this around grass and pads that are, out in open water, just like you would a topwater spook or something, but you don't have those treble hooks to worry about. So all I'm going to do is take this line. This is some Fluorocoat that I have. This is some 20-pound, pretty stiff. I'm going to run it through one hole and out the other, just like that. And that's how I'm going to get my skirt through. Now, the cool thing about these skirts is you can use old frogs. If you're up here like where I am in Iowa, we have pike and muskie. They hit the frog once and they put holes in it and it sinks. And this whole frog is trashed. It could be literally a brand new frog, but don't throw these away. You can still use the hook off this. If you rip the body off, this hook is just connected with a little connection here. It's not even a swivel. It just kind of does half turns. But you can take a screw lock, clip that on the front, and you could use these for your Stanley rivet toads. I don't fish those a lot. That's going to be another thing I'm going to try more this year. But you could certainly use it for that application. Additionally, you always want to make sure you pull these out after the body's all ripped up. Just pull those out and you could use it for modifications like this. So the next step is to tie our skirt on and pull it through. Now this could be from an old frog. This could be a spinnerbait skirt, a jig skirt. Any of them will work. So you can mix and match your colors however you want if you're into that sort of thing. So I just tied a simple overhand knot onto this skirt. From there, all you need to do is pull it through and out through the other side just like that. Now you don't want to pull it all the way through because I tied this in the middle. So you'll want to pull it through just enough where you can tell the halfway part of the skirt was like that and separate the two sides. I just put my finger in and hold the other side pretty tight. And then I'm just going to pull on this bottom side and that should pull only those strands through like that. And then pull this side straight back through to the middle like so. And now you have a frog with new legs on it. Why? Why all this trouble? Again, to reiterate, I really like the soft body on this frog. I like the angle of the hooks, and they're a little bit longer. Again, I'm switching down to a 40-pound braid this year instead of 50. So I thought, you know what, let's try this. These hooks are a little bit longer, a little bit different shape. Let's see if I get a better hookup ratio. And you'll notice now this body is free to move and spin. Those fake little leg things aren't holding those in place. So that's the modification. But now that you've got your frog modified, what knot do you use for your braid and frogging? Well, for me, the knot of choice is actually going to be G-Man's double shindo knot. I don't know the actual name of this knot. I saw him tie it a couple years back, and I really started adopting it at the end of last year, and I had zero issues with it on my frog. I used to use a doubled over San Diego jam knot. That knot is awesome, but it's a little bit more complicated than this one. The nice thing about this knot is it's extremely easy to tie, and it's simple. Braid can have a tendency to slip, so you want to watch what knot you use. So to tie this knot, all you do is run your line through once, and then run it back through the hole again, and pull that tag in through. I want to give myself a little bit of line to work with because this knot really is essentially just the old school improved clinch knot that you used to know back in the day. I'm just going to twist my line around here. I usually go 6 times, 3, 4, 5, 6. And unlike the improved clinch, going through and then back through, all I'm doing is taking it through here. Now you'll notice the big difference between the old improved clinch and this one is that there's 2 separate pieces of line going through there. So it's going to be quite a bit stronger. Instead of just having 1 strand come through here, I've got 2. To finish the knot, all you have to do is, well, pull it down. I'm going to pull it here. Once I start getting close, I'm going to take my tag in here, get my finger inside of it, give it a good pull. Then I'm just going to take this side and pull it down tight. And you'll notice it makes a nice clean knot right there on the front of your line. Now, the other very important part with braid is that you do not cut your tag ends too close. This specific knot is going to have 3 tag ends that you'll cut. Your 1 loose tag end here and then the doubled over tag end. Now I'm just going to pull them all together and give them a cut. I'm just going to use my finger here to mark it and cut these. Again, I don't want to cut them super close like that. And I'm going to get them to about there and leave it. I don't care about leaving a little bit longer tag ends up here on the front of my frog when I'm frogging because the fish aren't looking at the tag. If they didn't see all this braid in front, they're not going to see these little 1/4 inch pieces of tag end. They're focused on this. You're making a commotion, you're in slop. Chances are they're only seeing about that silhouette anyway. Just in case it slips, you want to have a little bit of insurance. So I get asked a lot, you fish frogs, what sort of rod and reel do you use for it? Well, for me, I want to make sure I have a fast reel. Last year I was using the Speed Demon with 50-pound Supercast 9 on it. This year, as I've said a few times before, I'm changing it up. I'm dropping down to a 40-pound. I'm going to the Cast Pro 4-carrier braid to try that. And I'm actually using the Royal Legend. It's a 7-0-1 retrieve speed. So it's a little bit slower than the Speed Demon, but I wanted to try that reel out and test its durability, and frogging is a good way to do that. You're going to be hitting those fish hard, you're going to be cranking it through a lot of muck, so I want to see how that reel survives. Now, as far as the rod goes, I look for a good heavy power rod. I want it to have a little bit of tip, so a moderate fast to a fast. Most of them you're going to find are probably just going to be a fast action, but I want to make sure it's got a good, strong backbone on it. This year I picked up a 7'3" heavy Perigee 2 rod. That's only a $59 rod, so I want to see how that's going to perform too. So I'm really going to put that Perigee 2 and Royal Legend to work on some frogging fish. So what really happened with that frog fish at the beginning? Think I got him?
Insane. Oh, I missed him. I missed him.
Yep, it was a swing and a miss, folks. That's why I'm going to this trouble. I want to try modifying these frogs to see if I can increase my hookup ratio. Now, I'm not going to lie, it's also just a fun project I can do because winter here in Iowa has got a little bit boring, so anything I can do to pass the old time. So let me know again in the comments below, what modifications do you do to your frogs? Do you do a lot of frogging? Do you like frogging? Do you have other questions about frogging? Let me know in the comments below. And if you've not already, please consider subscribing for more informative videos just like this one. Until next time.